Thank you.
We are live.
Oh, that's
Good evening. This is a meeting of the Council Rock School District Facilities Committee. My name is Mike Forward. I'm chair of the committee. We'll go around the room and announce everyone. Go ahead, Matt. Matt Frederickson, IT Director.
Eddie Block, School Board.
And Tate, School Board.
Mary Ann McKee, School Board.
Robert Fraser, Superintendent.
Joe Hidalgo, School Board.
Doug Taylor, Director of Operations.
And like all facilities meetings with that, Doug, take it away.
Thank you very much. So it's a pretty full agenda, but it's quick stuff. We will start, as always, with energy management update. We have 2 months of reporting, April and May. For April, we're at 87 cents a square foot. It's been adjusted based on weather and temperatures. We're still at an 83 Energy Star score. Our baseline was 80, so we continue to perform at a very high level. May is at 86 cents a square foot, still at a high level of 83 for Energy Star score. So continuing to look good in that.
I'm glad you keep track.
Security update, work in progress. You know, I work closely with Bill, Rick, and of course Robert and our team with ongoing discussions about security, especially in today's world with where we are. We're working on the implementation of the ALLOWANCE program. We applied for grants. They were due the 31st of July. I have to give a lot of credit to Susan O'Grady, who helped us put them together and push them out. She did a lot of work to help Bill and I get those done. So
Pass along our kudos.
equipment, programs, and school resource officer are the 3 grants. I think these 2 equipment and programs are 25,000 each.
25 and 20.
And then the SRO is 60 and 30. It's a 2-year thing.
Sorry, you mean 60 first year, 30?
60,000 first year, 30,000 the second.
Thanks.
We're working with Bill Rick to have police review our facilities and provide a written report of our findings for all of our schools in the district. And we will ultimately publish, those findings. That'll be kept here at Chancellor Center. That's work in progress.
Are those findings with the new legislation subject to?
I would hope that it would not be subject to the right to know law.
So it would be.
So you would not be able to request a copy of it. It would, yeah.
I would tend to agree, especially with the new executive session legislation.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
Consistent with that. Yeah.
Although we'll have that circulated, we'll review it at some point. Perfect, that's great.
We're talking about summer projects for next year, and some of those will certainly may pertain to security when I come to you in October, November, and talk to you about projects. There could be some that are security related.
Based on the findings.
Based on the findings, based on, there were philosophies that we had at one point. Some of those philosophies may have changed in terms of how open lobbies are and things like that to visitors. We always want to be friendly, get people in a dry space, but from there, how we move them through, we can talk about a little later. Ongoing equipment maintenance, we are working hard now that we have many cameras throughout the district. We are working on a maintenance plan each year, replacing, old antiquated cameras and, putting new digital cameras in those places. We're in really good shape. Most of the cameras we have at this point can really capture what we need to see. And we're taking care of that throughout the district.
We have storage for them? We have
Yes.
We have enough.
We do, yeah.
I don't know who that falls under. So.
He pays for it, I make sure.
Mostly me.
Okay, all right. But you got, we restored it, yep.
But we all work well together on all of it. Potential development of a security committee, which we're working to discuss. Legislative changes, Act 39 and 44 of 2018. So on July 19th, I was at a facilities team meeting at the Bucks County Intermediate Unit. This information was presented to me, and Robert, I know it was presented to you at a different level earlier the same day I was there. So I just want to touch a little bit on this. I think you guys, the board, was given this information as well. But for the community's sake, This was signed by Governor Wolf in June. Act 39, which is the Omnibus School Code Bill, when we talked about this a moment ago, executive session allows public school entities to go into executive session to plan, review, and discuss matters relative to safety and security. Any actions that we take obviously would be, at a public board meeting, but the discussions leading up to any votes can be in an executive session.
So if we have to spend money.
We're going to spend money to do something, implement something.
Would we have to reveal what that was, if that, what it was we were investing in was something that we might not want general public to know about?
I would wait till we have Rob Cox here for that.
Yeah, that's good. There are, and I think this whole thing, there's probably more questions than there are
I
answers.
think he's still shaking it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is very brief,
Got it.
but we will certainly work with legal counsel.
In fact, Rob himself just today watched the PASBO webinar on all this. So we're all just getting information.
We probably just get a little ahead of ourselves here, but I think it's going to be useful and good.
Oh, it's great.
School security drills is the other piece of the Act 39. It requires a mandatory swap of one fire drill for one security drill in the first 90 days of school. And then after that allows the district to swap up to 2 additional fire drills with security drills annually. So 3 security drills, basically.
And we've been doing that anyway. We've been making that swap.
Are you ever making that swap?
It's been a swap. Yep. So we've already been doing, well, at the elementary level, I think it's been in addition to, but at the other levels, secondary levels, it's been a swap. Just elementary needs a little bit more repetition. So this actually isn't something new for us.
So Act 44, school safety and security, it's based upon Pennsylvania School Safety Task Force. The legislation is based on hearings from that force. They had a series of 6 regional roundtable meetings to listen to various stakeholders, and a lot emerged from those meetings. So the background on it, the need to improve communication, information sharing, enhance social and emotional learning, increased access to mental health services, including more health professionals in schools. Really good stuff. Building community connections, effectively integrating law enforcement and school resource officers, providing guidance and establishing priorities for schools, and providing schools with more resources. So some of the highlights of the Act is that there's a $60 million grant, and there's many components of it. I'm going to have to read the whole list to you, but establish a statewide safety security committee. There's mandatory training. It's appointing, this one's important, requires appointment of school entity safety and security coordinator, something that we need to do by the end of August. And we can talk about that in a little bit, but it'll actually be a board motion item for this month.
One per school or one per district?
1 per district.
I will note that all those requirements didn't come with dollars to do it from the state. Just requirements, unfunded mandates.
And establish a safe program. And there's a lot of detail around the program. I didn't put that as a slide, but I'm happy to provide that information if you want me to send it to you later. The committee, permanent statewide within the PA Commission on Crime and Delinquency, it was comprised of many different important people that helped form this packet of things that we're talking about. So the authority develops the best practices for school safety assessments. Must establish the criteria for school safety by the 30th.
It's up, come back just one slide, the makeup, sorry.
Security of education.
I'm just, it seems, we count on PASBO and PASA to represent districts, is that adequate?
In my opinion,
Reasonable
yes.
feedback, okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
Yeah.
So it requires formation of 3 state police risk assessment teams, which is basically a minimum of 3 trained individuals, each established to conduct school assessments within various geographical regions of the Commonwealth. They must include the following 3 areas: physical assessments, policy and training assessments, and student assistance and behavioral health support assessments. There's a lot of work for that group. So by 31st of October 18, we'll establish criteria for registration of qualified individuals that are able to conduct these assessments. By the 31st of October 18, develop a school safety and security survey to distribute to the school districts that'll help measure safety and security areas. The school entities will be required to respond to this survey by the 30th of November. We don't know exactly when we're going to get it, but by 31st of October, they're supposed to have established it.
I would assume you're going to have a busy November.
It looks like we're going to have about,
3 weeks.
2 weeks, with Thanksgiving to get it done. And then that survey also indicates whether the entity possesses a pre-existing school safety assessment survey that's less than 3 years old. As I mentioned at the beginning, we are putting together a survey this month, probably into next month, of all of the schools, working closely with the police departments to provide a written report that will be kept here in the district. That will ultimately be attached to this and sent back.
And I'll note for Andy, who probably didn't hear this before, we already are doing it. We have, so we have them less than 3 years old for it.
By the 31st of January 19, the committee must complete the review of all of these assessments that they have received back to determine our preparedness. They must notify each school of the findings from those reviews. And then, again, and that is confidential information as we talked about earlier. And then direct the approval and disbursement and administration of the $60 million in safety and security grants. So the grant process, there's $60 million allocated for 18-19. The fiscal code will create a permanent stream of $15 million per year thereafter. There is not an actual date as to when the grant is due, but we know that they will be distributed by the 31st of October 2019. And any meritorious application will receive a minimum of $25,000. So it certainly looks like we'll receive something. I'm not sure that it'll be significant, but we're certainly going to give it our all and go after what we can. And there's a long list of items that this applies to. I didn't put those slides in either, but again, I'm happy to share that with anyone if you need to see it. Maximum annual obligation in any district is 10% of the funds available under the program. It's to supplement existing school spending on school safety and security. And the grant funds shall not be included in the budget total expenditures when calculating charter tuition amounts.
That's pretty much double for money.
The other piece of this is school safety and security is a state police risk and vulnerability assessment. So they are establishing 3 risk and vulnerability assessment teams by the 31st of March of 19. The 3 teams will be composed of at least 3 state troopers to operate within 3 geographical regions by the state police in consultation with this committee. So those 3 folks will be very, very busy working throughout Pennsylvania, 500 school districts to do so. So they'll be assigned to these, they'll be trained with best practices assessment criteria as established by the committee, and free and priority given based on the ranking of the school entity's market value of income ratio. So basically,
We're on the low end.
we're in like them.
And I'll also note there are more schools in state Pennsylvania than there are days in the year, so we're not likely to see that.
I think it's about a school an hour.
Yeah. So just to make it clear.
It's going to be really hard.
There are more school districts, much less school districts
Yes.
than there are days of the year. Yeah.
And those teams must report annually to the committee. So they're going to be very busy teams.
But they did something. They can say that.
What school entities need to do. So we basically need to apply for the grants. We're not sure of the deadline yet. but we will apply when we know, and we know what the requirements are. And we're looking for some monies by the 31st of October 2019. These grants are different than the 3 grants I mentioned at the beginning of this presentation. Those are 3 different grants from a different funding source. So we will continue to go after grants as they become available. We have to complete the school safety and security survey by the 30th of November 2018, at least based on what we know today. That's the timeline for us. And complete, along with it, send the assessment that we will be performing, the update that we'll be performing. And lastly, appoint an administrator as a school safety and security coordinator by the end of this month. And I think we know, that would be Bill Rick, we would propose Bill Rick, and at the meeting, I'm going to have a motion if that's what we would propose. And certainly discuss that if there's any questions on that. And we have to provide 3 hours of school safety and security training every 5 years for employees on the topics of. And there's a list of situational awareness, trauma-informed education awareness, behavioral health awareness, suicide and bullying awareness, substance use awareness, emergency training drills including fire, natural disaster, active shooter, hostage, and bomb threats.
The average is out for 36 minutes a year.
I'd say that seems like we should shoot to do more than that, doesn't it?
Well, we do a lot more than
I
that
was
when it
gonna
comes
say,
to overall
that's-
safety.
I was trying to segue in, we're probably doing 10 times.
Absolutely.
And that's true, and what isn't, we can provide through an internet or distance communication system. So you can log on and put a half hour in on something we might not be doing, and hopefully, after we confirm, that would meet the intent of what this
That's right.
legislation is. We're going to confirm, but, and that training accounts for continuing education. So, no, that's all I have on that update from legislation.
When we consider the motion to appoint Bill to that designated position, I'm sure you will give a little bit of background about Bill, because until I joined the board, I really didn't know about Bill. And I think, Bill and his background and so forth should give the community some level of reassurance.
Absolutely. It's impressive.
Either Doug or you, someone, I get so.
That's wonderful to do that. I'm ready to do that.
Yeah.
Yep, I think that's great. Great idea.
Take one slide and say why, and then a couple of why we picked Bill. Why we're doing it, and then why Bill.
Okay.
Facilities improvement update. Again, this is Newtown Middle School. We are essentially ready to go. We're doing some final cleaning in the building. Otherwise, we're in good shape. They're demolishing the existing building, preparing that area for parking lot construction, which they still feel they can get in place before teachers come back. It's not due for completion until next year. We have a temporary lot with the sidewalk leading to the school, should they not finish, but all efforts are being made to finish that early and make it more convenient for our staff.
Well, plus you really like your grass.
Well, they can establish, there's
It's a field.
actually a softball field, it's on the other side, so they can establish that field early. There's a lot of reasons, but it's going well. They're hoping by the 30th of August that we have an early completion of that one. That's well. And just a couple shots. This is the bus drop-off side and the protection of any coasting buses that might come down, and the entrance for the students' office this side. Yeah. The main entrance off of this side. This is a neat view of, this was the gym and pieces of the existing middle school, which are now gone, recycled, if you will. It's not
Sidewalk
just-
features are nice though.
Yeah.
That is nice.
And that is now overlaid and striped and ready for buses. We have the actual spots for the buses. They come in the back, they do a loop, and they pull in and chevron kind of parking, and then they peel out one at a time as they leave. So
They
that's
better not peel out.
And then we have in light gray, the overflow parking spaces for evening events. So when it's not being used during the day, we have many, many parking spaces that can be organized around the back of the property.
Will we put up signage to say that, or do you think it's unnecessary?
We have site signage that we're waiting for, yeah, that will make it clear.
Don't over-sign it, because it looks beautiful.
The signs are really nice.
Okay.
Yeah, they're nice. That's the new auditorium in the middle school. That's the gymnasium.
I'm sorry, would you refresh my memory, is the capacity of the middle school auditorium greater than that of North or similar?
It's 680, 685 maybe, at the middle school, North. I'm gonna call it, and
But it's definitely more than that.
it's definitely more, they said more than that, and even it's significantly more.
George, getting any of this stuff on social media,
And this is the demolition, that's the auditorium.
The stuff on this?
Right, Doug, how does the new auditorium compare in size to the old?
It's bigger, but I can't tell you by how
How
much.
much? Okay,
I could look it up for you. We have it somewhere.
all right.
And nobody's gonna notice, all they're gonna notice is it's,
That's right.
It's there.
yeah, that's right. That's all they're gonna, if you walk in there, remember like walking
Oh,
into
yeah.
a sauna?
And the plaster ceiling's not falling on your head, which is another part.
Yeah.
It is,
But they are recycling, they'll scrap all the steel in one spot, they take all the concrete in another. It's very surgical, it's not like the old days, we just knock
Take
it
it
down,
forever.
put it in the truck, and put it in landfill. We're getting a lot of late credits for recycling, we have to be at 70%, we're at 90%. So we're well ahead of where we need to be. And then there was a question about what are we taking from the existing school and putting in the new school. So we have some of the mosaics that we took down, we put on the new walls. In the conference room, we put one of the elements from the old building, and it really looks nice against the new construction. This is a 1954 plaque, that's the new plaque, they're hanging next to each other, so we have definitely moved.
Oh, the new one's up already?
Yeah, the new one,
I was about to make a joke over the fact that when we approved good nose plaque, did that take us about 17 months just to
It
approve?
took a while.
The plaque looked up, so you didn't even ask this time.
We basically have the plaque designed, it is the design, it's the same design.
So smart.
All the board members that were involved in the approval process are on the plaque, so.
Was that before your time, or the good nose plaque?
Good noise.
Oh, yeah. How many times did that come back before us?
A lot.
a lot. It was before my time. Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, it was, so we're doing the Green Lane reconstruction that you guys approved at the last board meeting. We took the paving off, we opened up, took the stone out, and areas smelled like a fresh cornfield. We found organic material under that road, topsoil, that was never removed when they constructed the road.
Jeez,
About
man.
1,000 cubic yards. You could smell it like a farmer had just opened up the field. Unbelievable. So they've taken those areas around the road. We had our geotechnical engineer there. We took out to where it was suitable and put back stone, compacted it. That's all gone. There'll be some additional cost that comes out of our material allowance.
What do we do with this?
Here's the good news. Along that drive, if you were driving along that road, coming from Richboro Road, and as you start to come around on the right-hand side, the curb was there, but that road dropped down. The grade dropped down 5-6 feet. We took this earth and we put it all on that side of the curb and actually have about a 10-foot flat area, and then it slowly slopes down to the lawn. So we've created a much more friendly landscape along the side of the road.
Okay.
So we didn't pay money to have them export it, keeping it on site. They're going to seed it, and it has a nice natural swell.
Are we putting in any speed bumps?
Well, we've been working on that. I wanted to put a speed table. There's an area of that road that we cross over the road to get to the green trail on the other side. The problem is if we do that, it's a continuation of the elevation of the sidewalk. It cuts off the drainage, and we don't have storm drainage out there sufficient enough to take the water.
And speed bumps cause the same problem.
What I would like to do is, if we need speed bumps, is let's see how this road performs. If we definitely have a speed issue, then we should go in and we could add those speed bumps easily at any time.
Okay.
Or we could even purchase the speed bumps that you mechanically put down.
I can make a suggestion, because you're both here, stick a camera on it somewhere, or a wire.
We have a camera that covers most of that drive. We honestly have not had, I've asked
So,
for the principals who have seen major issues. We haven't. I know it'll be newly paid. I think it's let's see, and we can easily get somebody in to put the speed bumps in after.
Good.
Unless there's opposition to that. I know Mark really wanted, us to look at speed bumps, and we talked about it. We had a civil engineer look at it. They present a little bit of a problem. We could put some in that end short to allow water to kind of drain around them if we need to do
We're gonna
that.
destroy them every time we plow.
Well, that's another issue. But we can certainly do it, but I think it's something we can do after the fact. Let's see if there's a problem. We can mechanically put some down almost overnight if there's an issue, and then we could always make them more substantial with paving after that, so.
Great, thank you.
So there's one other issue on Green Lane, and it's where there's a trench drain in the street. If you'd ever come from the high school going towards the middle school, before you get to the overpass, you may not have noticed, but in the street, there's a steel grate.
It's really depressed.
Yeah,
Well, it's supposed to be somewhat,
yeah.
catch the water, but.
So off of that is the Sunoco easement for the gas line. And when it rains, that water comes down that easement and just washes over the road. It sometimes brings stones and debris with it, and it's always a mess. And it actually undermines the paving, which is why we had a lot of cracking in that one area. So while we're here, and this is tough to see in here. So this is the high school coming along Green Lane. This is the softball field up in the hill. As you're coming along, right here is a trench drain. This is a bypass. The yellow line is a Sunoco gas line. In this area of red is where we have issues in the street. So blowing up, this is a gas line coming down in yellow. The blue is where the stormwater rushes down this easement and floods this area of the road. You can see even after they've milled it, this area is like the most challenged piece of road. What we'd like to do, and we have to get some blessings from some other parties, including the folks responsible for the gas lines, is to there's an old tree. It's multiple branches. It's just a bad tree. It's not a good tree.
Not a nice tree.
You can cut it down, that's what it's like.
It's not a quality tree. Is what I'm
Cut it
saying.
down.
It's not a valuable tree.
If you're gonna fix the stormwater, man.
So what we want to do is we're just trying to burn it up here, swale it, put two catch basins in and collect this water in an exaggerated swale. Here's the most interesting thing. That trench drains in the street. It's about 5 foot deep, all concrete. There's not a pipe that comes into it. There's not a pipe that leaves it. It basically is just a reservoir. I don't know. I was not here for this drain.
Okay,
But what we will do is pour through the bottom of the box, tie those storm drains into it. The water flows through it and pop out the other side of it. Put a pipe in and it daylights with an end wall and stone here and goes into another natural swell. We will forever collect the water and keep it off of our property. We won't have ice. We won't have flooding.
but we're still practicing conscientious stormwater management.
Yeah, we will talk to the township. We won't just do this without getting.
But it's gonna stay right where it would have been anyway.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
So but we're just controlling where.
Don't go there anyway. Yeah, okay.
This is what is behind the trees at the softball field. The water's flowing down, as I said. We want to take it this direction. It comes out here, this is that tree thing, and then it comes down across through that grate. So that's something we're going to get a price for. I think we can do it with the allowances. It wouldn't be a change order issue. I just want to make you aware. The middle school, Alamo Middle School, a lot of phases done. We're in the final phases of the project. The nursing guidance suite, the admin, IPC, faculty dining, classrooms, second floor classroom renovation,
They're supposed to be done at the end of the month.
gymnasium, library. We now have weekly meetings. We are all looking at intermittent, different timelines,
Are
but
we still on schedule?
we're still on schedule. We're still on schedule.
Seconds.
They're working on top of each other. They're working hard. It's going to be done, but there's a lot of work to do. So when we go on the 11th, you'll see how it looks. I have a couple of pictures to show you so you can see.
Joe and I were there last Friday.
Yeah.
It's really impressive. There's still a lot to do. I mean, it really is a lot to do. So.
Yeah.
But.
So one of the things I didn't mention, but we had a lot of soft spots in the base paving that was done here at Alamo. We took a loaded triaxle dump truck, full of stone, and we had him drive the entire parking lot back and forth, every drive, every square inch. And we had geotech behind him and spray paint. In any area that we saw rolling, as that truck drove over it, we marked with paint The contractor came back, cut the paving out, took out any soft soil, put stone in, and we now have a very solid base across the entire site before they put the overlay. So we wanted to make sure we took care of that. Here's a shot of the auditorium at Holland. This has a balcony. The one at Newtown is deeper, it facilitates all the seating on one level. This has a raised balcony. It has a partition in the back and partitions across the front. Projectors at each side, about 75 on each side. So you want to have two large group instruction rooms upstairs. So it has flexibility as well. One of the new hallways in the new classroom wing that we're wrapping up.
My daughter was seriously impressed with the new lockers in terms of, hey, you can actually use these.
Sorry, Doug, when we were looking at the auditorium, I know Jerry had asked previously about accessibility for wheelchair students.
So-
Yeah, we have areas that are where seats are removed, where you sit next to.
I see now.
So
It's there. I looked when we were there. It's there.
we have those areas built in front and back, so you can sit with, assistant, whoever's assisting you, or if you're alone, you have the areas to pull it next to a buddy.
Is it Newtown or Holland that has the chair lift on the second?
Both have chair lifts.
In that auditorium?
There's an elevator that gets you to this floor level. There's anywhere that everybody has the same access to any space in the building, essentially. There's no limits. This is looking from the back, the trail that comes up to the back, which we also overlaid from the development below all the way up. We widened it and overlaid it, gave it some new light. It's a very busy trail. A lot of people walk.
It's heavily used.
We
We don't bust behind there. So it's used pretty hard.
This fencing will come down, this will all be restored, but these are the classrooms in the back that we added. That stair tower was existing. It was an existing stair tower. This was all the old block. It was, and metal panels, all removed and new infill, so.
That classroom on the left, it's all glass on two sides. Whatever instructor gets that either got really lucky or is going to be challenged to keep you pay attention.
Yeah, I mean, they can pull shades down, but it is.
It's a beautiful
This
classroom.
one and this one are really wonderful.
Yes,
absolutely. We took the existing baseball field, all we did was replace the backstops and give it some new life. Nothing more than that. These are the three phases we're finishing. The cafeteria. So this is the raised seating area. We put new railing systems on those. They get new floor finishes. All the rough-ins are in place. All the new drywall's in place. So they're really working now to put it back. They're finished down.
This is where they're working on top.
Yeah, they're wonderful. This is the library. Again, all the demos we've completed. The new drywall's been in. The new windows are in. All of the HVAC systems are finished. They're putting the ceiling grid in Monday, and then they can start laying in lights. The new window system framing is in place, so we're putting back at this point.
I told Mrs. Tiger that the school board would be happy to come over and help her unpack books if she needs it on a Saturday.
Yeah,
It's a nice offer.
Yeah.
Hope you've been very busy, very busy. And then the gym. This is where you come into the gym. The cafeteria is back behind it. These are 4 windows that we punched in from the hallway above. This used to be behind this wall, the cooling towers and mechanical space, and blue sky above it. It was a recessed area in the roof that we used for mechanical. We put a roof across it, captured the space, and connected it to the new, so it became functional space. And they're refinishing the floors. The new basketball backstops are in. The new ductwork is in. Everything's been painted. The new divider screen, so it's coming along.
I was really, you can come as well. This was impressive because the old dingy that had water stains on the walls. And,
That was a tired gym.
that was a really tired gym. So this is.
Wrightstown Elementary started, really in full force in July with renovating, demolishing, doing all the things we needed to do. One of the things I need to do is just clarify the budget that was presented in May. When Bob was putting this budget together, he identified during this preparation of his financial sheets, it was a number that was carried over that should have been carried over, but I want to clarify what that means as far as the total overall budget. So the potential savings line was inadvertently carried over to the actual bids received now. So we had what the potential savings would be, but obviously when you got the bids, any of the potential savings were in the bid number. So that number shouldn't have been carried over again. It's basically what happened. I'm not sure yet. So we had the construction costs, which the budget, the actual, contingency for unforeseens, the FF&E, furniture, fixture, and equipment, they remain the same. The soft costs remain the same. The total budget, 18,194,622, still stays 18,194,622. What changed is the contingency for unforeseens is adjusted down to take out that number that was inadvertently carried over.
It was 300,000.
Yeah.
290.
What we were showing was what the cost savings would be for a non-phase project. And when you actually look at it, it gives me an opportunity to kind of demonstrate that is the case. This is what I'm saying. So this budget includes $815,000 for a relocation to Richburg. That's in this total project budget. So of that 18 million, almost over $750,000 is costs associated with relocating to Richburg Mill. That's busing, all the busing costs. That's the work that we're doing there. So that's all budgeted for here, and that's still being carried over. FF&E, furniture, fixture, and equipment carried over. Contingency has been addressed. Potential savings, no phasing, was $486,925. It was inadvertently carried over before. We removed it. So the numbers are accurate. It doesn't change the bids. It doesn't change the approvals. It doesn't change anything other than we mistakenly carried that over when we prepared the final budget.
Doug, this is all the same information that you would email to the board several weeks ago,
I shared
right?
it with the
No
board,
change.
but I just want to make sure that the public hears the same.
Your next chance to present it.
Definitely. So the bottom line is, it's interesting. It was $400,000 we projected if you didn't phase the project. We're pretty much within 64,000 of that, 152,000 below budget. And then these items that were alternates were not budgeted for items. They were alternates that in the event we were low bid, we could add these to the project. They were never factored for as the total budget. So when you take the terrazzo floor throughout the whole school, the unclassified rock, the outside courtyard space that we're making a classroom, lighting protection, upgraded lighting system controls of 271, and you add it to the 152. You're within 64,000 of what we projected for savings. So it's really, nice to see that it was fairly accurate.
Just because you see that terrazzo floor, in my opinion, it'd be, why wouldn't we use terrazzo floors in all our schools? Because of the durability, but there is a cost associated.
It's generally a pretty big cost. So it's,
in a minute or so, to say how long they last, and why do we do it?
the terrazzo floor is generally going to last the life of the building, 30, 40, 50 years.
That's why we do it.
A DCT, a vinyl composition tile floor, is going to last you 6 to 8 years. So when you look at the life cycle cost analysis, within 6 years, you're going to pay for new floors. Well, you're going to go and take all the floors out, put new floors in again. You will never do that with the terrazzo.
And I know that, I just wanted the public to hear that. There's a reason why that we do that.
Thank you. So, as I told you when we were submitting PlanCon documents, there was a moratorium. They weren't accepting documents, but we wanted to submit because we felt we needed to be responsible to do so. We got the formal letter that they're basically saying that our project is not eligible, the moratorium is in effect, and that they're going to discard everything we sent and throw it in the dumpster. We want to pick up the stuff should they throw it away. We have the right to throw it.
Why is it not eligible?
Because they have a moratorium from July 17 to November.
Okay, so it has nothing to do with our submission, it's just
It has
there.
nothing to do with what we submitted, it's just PDE is just not willing to accept it because they have a moratorium.
So
So I,
somebody give money.
Are we gonna continue with the planning process on this, or just stop?
Well, we pretty much did finish on Ricetown. We're gonna continue, I want to continue even on Rolling Hills, because I want to have it on the file, I want to have it done.
Okay,
You never know what's gonna happen
that's fair, that's fair.
with PD. And
It's worth the time and effort,
So-
just in case.
We all agreed at our last meeting on Rolling Hills that we're gonna continue with the process even if we don't, I think we get the board will approve it, we put it in the drawer, and we're done. We don't even have to send it in. We'll keep it. Right now, we have the staging area, the laydown area for trailers and stored materials. They came in, they cleared out the courtyard, and we're actually creating some actual positive slope in this area with a lot of water that used to back up and go in the building because it just wasn't draining properly. So putting yard drains in and getting it away from the building. We've stoned the area where we're putting new additions. This is over here where they're doing some of the parking lot expansion and some drainage work. Ceilings have been removed. The space is even more gutted than this today. There's areas you walk in and everything's gone. It looks like like they just framed the building. We have footings and foundations going in, so they're pouring concrete. They're getting all of our footings in. Our pier footings where columns will go, so that we can begin to put columns up as soon as the steel arrives to site. And this is new electrical duct bank from the street into the site, so we're moving quickly on this project.
Sorry, quick question, Doug. I know when the Grange Fair takes place, there's sometimes a real impact to local traffic in Wrightstown. Do you anticipate any problems getting in and out of the site?
I mean, I think other than contractors, deliveries maybe getting caught up in traffic or whatnot, I mean, I think we'll be okay.
Be okay.
Yeah, but traffic
Well,
is
it's
definitely,
sometimes really,
the bridge being out is creating a lot of traffic around there too. It's a tough area.
Yeah.
Yeah. Getting on the 413 is never easy. So this project is going well. We're working. We just had 100% design development drawings submitted by the architect for us to start reviewing and marking up. And now they're moving into the construction document phase of those projects. So now they're creating drawings that will be used by contractors to bid and build the building. Initially, it's just a design development, schematic to design development. A couple, the ones in red, some key dates in Northampton Township. Preliminary approval with the supervisors is 11 September. We'll be back in front of the, actually, I think it's the planning commission. We'll be back in front of it in September. So it is the date is correct. It's just planning commission. The board approval of Act 34 resolution is a board motion item that I'll have in front of you in September. That basically is for us to advertise the hearing. The next day we'll advertise the hearing. And then the Act 34 hearing for Rolling Hills will be October 18th before the board meeting. And that's a law regardless of the moratorium on people and plan. That's something we have to do. And again, because we submitted A and B for Rolling Hills, we got the same letter. Hey, thanks, we're going to put in our dumpster. You want to come pick it up? Okay. So we're going to continue with the process here as well. We did get the ACE grant. I think everybody heard that. $2 million. We were the only applicant on the book for July of 18 with the Commonwealth Financing Authority. Other applicants that they had were being held until September to allow more thorough time for those projects. So they did receive others, but they basically, I think, acknowledged that ours was the only truly complete, viable project submitted for that month. I think the other projects, they are looking for more information. There was about $4 million left for the other folks for their consideration. And after that, there may be about $7 million remaining for future applicants. So the good news is we submitted a complete packet. Credits to Dewey Engineering for putting together all that information. There were a lot of articles. There was a lot of articles out there, but I don't think that Dewey brought us the grant, who prepared all the paperwork, who pulled the design team together and made sure they gave us everything we needed, saw much press. So I think they should be recognized as well. So with the ACE grant approval, we will pursue LEED Gold certification. We've already had LEED Gold design team meetings. 22% of our electricity will be generated from solar panels on the roof of that building. We're working on the leak build checklist, as I said, and we're performing field investigations, ongoing investigations, performing due diligence as we work on the construction.
You're doing that now because the building's
Yes,
So there is no solar fields in the back anymore? They're all-
they won't be in the lawn, they'll all be up on the roof so we can preserve the green space for the kids. Yeah, and we were hoping to do that. So we've opened up the roof, we're making sure of what lives there before we tear it off and replace. You don't want to find out when you're tearing it off. A lot of people don't do it right. That's the wrong time. There's steel ductwork that goes under the slab in the spaces. We made sure that that was in fact just steel ductwork, and there's no surprises in that, and it's clean, there's no issues with it. We continue to do other work. So we had a sketch plan submission with the Planning Commission in July. From that meeting, there were two things that were really the bigger items that we talked about. One was redoing the driveway configuration across from the Middle Holland Road across the street from our current driveway to the development. If you've seen that drive, it's very, very wide. We asked them honestly, this parking lot at Rolling Hills was reconstructed about 12 years ago. Why, when we reviewed it 12 years ago, when you said, hey, align this? I don't know, but it's another chance, I guess, to look at aligning it. So we're going to look. There could be costs associated with that if we're asked to do that. That's the only thing they asked us to do. That'd be great, you know, but I don't know if we really need to. Potential traffic study was the other. I don't think they're going to push on that. I don't know. We're not changing anything there relative to traffic. The building's essentially staying the same function, same capacity, maybe 75 more kids to put the alternate classrooms on. Still nothing close to the 8 trailers we had there at one point in a building that was extremely crowded at that time. So I think a lot of times the initial review letters are basically posting everything, that are cited in books, and then we talk about them later. So I think they're going to be friendly with us. The plan hasn't changed. I don't know that we have to go over this again. It's the same plan we talked about. This is the intersection you see how wide that driveway is across the street compared to us. Moving this over definitely creates some challenge. And then there's a section that we put together that we showed the township as well. This is Middle Holland Road out here at the front of the building to show that the solar panels that we're proposing will never really be seen by community. From the playground side, these are the panels. There's some panels on the back of this roof. They're ideally located, and there's mechanical equipment on the roof between the 2 light monitors we're adding. So all of that stuff is concealed from the neighbors. They're not looking at ugly equipment.
That has to be approved still?
The whole thing.
The whole
That
thing.
whole thing, I'm saying.
Yeah.
That might be something.
Moving services, they've all been moved. All the schools have been moved.
I'm sorry to interrupt, just real quick for Robert. And if this is already planned or in the works, just we can follow away, so I'm not taking through time. Are there grand opening activities scheduled at both of the middle schools?
We're in the process of talking about that, planning that.
I voted for Saturdays.
They have invited the incoming 7th and 8th graders.
Yeah, I've said in the notes that went out, similar to what we did with the groundbreakings.
Yeah, I think we did, I know at Goodnote and at Rolling, or at Hollandale, we did some evening events there. We brought kids in.
That's right, that evening event we did, good notes.
Yeah, so I think we wanted to get it occupied, let the kids get in, and then plan something.
With Holland Middle especially, and I don't want to scare you, but we meet every day just to get done.
And that's why we didn't really see it as a summer activity, because while Newtown could accommodate.
I wasn't saying that'd be summer, I'm just saying we want to celebrate.
Oh, I agree.
Well, and Doug made the point to me that when they're occupied, they'll be much more attractive. Kids stuff on the wall.
Yeah. It'll feel like a school.
Yeah, the only thing I'm saying is not during a weekday, please. Because that would,
Well, weeknight maybe.
a weeknight's fine, not during a weekday.
Yeah.
I think it would be a night.
It was nice at Goodnote.
And to the point you made earlier, I think that they did a terrific job at Goodnote The one thing that maybe we can do is talk a little bit more about what went into these and the people who made it happen, whether that's you and your staff here or the engineers and the architects, the lead goal. You know, the things that are special and unique about this building to make it
Really highlight
it, really help people understand that. You know, you're mentioning lots of little things we're fixing even at, you know, Wrightstown. These are,
Yeah.
you know, really big improvements.
Dewey was nice enough to prepare nice handouts for us, some of these in the past, and we can have them with some fun facts and things like
Yeah, I
that.
mean, what people don't understand, you know, Beezer's impacts all the school districts.
Yeah.
What people don't understand about, you know, our district versus Central Bucks, we don't have the influx of population and tax dollars, but we also have an aging infrastructure. And that's where the vast majority of our money is going, and it's going to keep going.
Yeah.
So to be able to talk about why that's a good decision.
And we do a grading too.
Sure. And I like how.
Yeah, we didn't have her before when we did that.
And I like how efficiently we are doing it.
Yes.
You know, whether it's responsible for the environment, on time, under budget, all those types of things.
Those are all true.
I'm saying that let's take the opportunity to.
Thank you.
We're tooting your horn here a little bit.
Oh, yeah, I mean, and part of it is, well, and part of it is to, I think part of it is to counter the perception that we're just spending a lot of money. I mean, you know, what Andy's talking about is efficiencies and cost savings and really smart money management.
We've been fortunate with some of these alternates, like we talked about life cycle cost analysis.
Yeah.
Some of the sustainable materials we use, that's all good stuff, it really is.
Yeah.
So we can talk about them.
Good.
All the moves were successful, depending on who you ask, but they were successful. We have everything where it belongs within the different schools. There's a little shuffling back and forth. I need some more chairs, I need desks, and, you know, we're moving things around, but it went very well considering. We have fitness equipment to move from south and north in the weight rooms that's going to be moved around after the renovations. We have 3 53-foot trailers containing extra furniture with no place to go, but we now have storage space through KTK, which I'm going to touch on shortly.
So like one of those is behind North right now?
Yes, it will be moved out soon. Summer projects, we have about 4.7 million in summer projects with professional fees and contingencies. The Chancellor Center project is about 70% complete. We did have water infiltration on the roof in front of this building. We've had an environmental consultant and did some testing. It's been cleared. We're back. It's dry, but I've had a meeting with the roofers here about that. It reinforces the approach we take on the flat roofs, where we work with the governmental purchasing process. We use Garland, and we use 4 roofers to get bids. We assign it to, you know, to the people we know and we trust. This is a public bid project where it's issued to a GC, and he hires a sub to do the work. I'm not saying the sub's bad, but I can say that I haven't had a roof here have the problems I had on one piece like I have here. And it's not the people that I generally work with. So I really like the process that we use for the, you know, we're doing 40,000 square feet of roof replacement right now in salt limestone, the same range we have here, and I don't have water coming in, you know, the building while they're doing it. So it speaks a lot to that process, but it's all good. They're starting with
Maybe you can help us over at MBIP.
I talked a lot to Bill Foster about that before they planned, and I really wish that I could have been more involved.
It's too late.
A lot of discussions going back and forth about how that worked and looked and what they were thinking. And, you know, but it's not my, can't step on toes. But I'm happy to answer questions if anybody has them. We're gonna, it comes inside soon, taking all the storm windows off. We're gonna measure each window opening, assign a specific number to each opening, and get those windows ordered. They said 4 to 6 weeks from when they get those shop drawings back. So within the next week, they're going to come in and start doing that throughout the building. So that's exciting.
You started on the second floor, right?
I said no one should be upset if you get in the way to measure.
First floor.
I called dibs already.
The cooling tower replacement, the enclosure replacements in process. The metal screen panels for the walls are We're waiting for delivery. We're having a lot of issues with product delivery. I just think because, excuse me, there's a lot of construction, a lot going on, trying to get these products has been tough. We think that we'll have them by the end of August, early September.
Is that local? Just local? Because there's a massive trucking shortage nationally.
Yeah,
For everything.
this stuff's coming, from across the country.
Yeah, so that's what you're seeing.
It's all part of it. It's all part of it. The fume hood at North is no problem. The unit's been shipped and that will be done and ready for school. Transformer site improvements is all good at North. The North and South Fitness Centers, flooring material delivery, again, an issue with delivery of those products. We will occupy those spaces.
Are you going to put the weight room back in and
We'll have to put it in. No, then we'll have to take the wait for a school break, take it out, do the floor right, and then put the equipment back.
Who's paying for it?
Well, we're gonna talk to the contractor about sharing costs.
Because, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's making an effort to make it happen, so we'll see. North and South court repairs is going well. We're just about there on those. Athletic, fencing, signage, field improvements in South is going well. The gym floor replacement at Hillcrest and Richboro is good. Data wiring is good at Wrightstown. Richboro Middle School site improvements, one other area where the playground equipment is expected to be there at the end of August, which would be good. They're going to install it right away. It could be the beginning of September. They're doing everything they can to get that there, get that delivered there as quickly as they can. That's aware, that we could have a week or two without the hard equipment, but we will have the hard play area, basketball, backstops, fencing, guardrails to protect the kids, all the good stuff in place. So they won't be without places to play. And the roof replacement at Old Fine Center is going well. This is just the status of the projects. Each of the projects I just went over, the allowances that we started with, what the current allowances are. I don't have to go over all this unless you'd like me to. I'm happy to.
Bottom line.
Bottom line is all those projects, this will be filled out when the project's done with final contract amounts. Right now, we have about 200,000 material allowances left to the good for all those projects. So the amount you approved for these projects was 4.2 million. If we don't use all of these, we may use some. We'll be at about 4 million, so we'll be below budget when it's over. We will be below budget for sure. And then the moving has some allowances in it as well. Bottom line is we're going to see about $30,000 back to us in those. So the 167,000 that was approved will be less about 30,000. So that's good news too. And then just a couple of the shots. The masonry repointing has just been tremendous. These guys are so good at what they do.
They do it often.
We're getting used to hearing the pecking outside and the beeping of the lifts. This was a really bad brick wall around the cooling tower. The concrete is being repaired, and then we get metal louvered screen wall around it. That product is the product we're waiting for. All of the hydronic pipe of the piping for the cooling tower is on new supports on concrete below, so that's all good to go.
We don't have to, we can operate it that way.
Oh yeah, there's no issue with operating. We actually have a plywood and a ladder right now. We're putting more substantial fence up around this if it's not here before kids get back.
That's what I was, okay.
And this has been widened. This is a piece of sidewalk that was never quite wide enough. Vehicles are in and out of here picking up stuff for PE, for band. I'm not sure exactly what's happening, but there's a lot of loading and offloading. So what we actually created is so that we have no more going into dirt and creating a mess. Tennis court work. This was center court. They've had new posts put in. This is all paved now. We're waiting for that paving to cure, and then they'll do the recoating of those next week. The basketball courts are recoated and ready to go.
The earth there is just grading.
This is us because one of the reasons we had some challenges, we had ponding, is because the earth started to grow up higher than the edge of the court. So when the water tries to sheet off, it's getting caught up. So I asked our guys to to skin that off and create positive flow across the
We're
ground.
gonna break that out.
Yeah, that's done.
Yeah.
That was working. And then the work at Salt Limestone, which, as I told you originally, has every product you can imagine. Block, wood siding, vinyl siding, masonry, brick.
You gotta do that at school.
You're right. But it's going well. Miscellaneous, Aramark onboarding is happening. We're working with Rick White and Tina Genosa. We've met several times to talk about the transition to level 2, the inspection tools that they're using, trend emissions compliance in stores, APA scoring for all buildings, action and audit counts and deficiencies and inspection codes. So they're using a software that we can share with you guys. The other thing we talked about is them coming to facilities meetings on a quarterly basis, just to give you an update. I know that was asked for when they were interviewed. They can show you some of the tools, they can show you how we're actually trending, and you can ask them any questions you may have from people you may know that.
And I'll look around board members that are here, but after a couple of these, I mean, we could probably suffice for a written report.
I'm fine with that.
I think we should do it a couple times, but then I think,
I'm responding to what the
Oh,
board.
no, I agree, but the less people we drag out that have jobs early in the morning back in these schools, the better, long term.
They're working on the new rollout, custodial handbook, which is tailored to our district, which I asked them to prepare. New equipment, microfiber technology. They're getting rid of the old knobs in water. They're using microfiber technology. They get a new microfiber head for every percentage of square footage, and then they get those every day for the buildings. They get piles of these delivered regularly, and then they get laundered. So it's a different process. I think it's a blue cleaning program, which is very good. It's almost green. We might be able to look at green. Cleaning uniforms are also something they're getting. They're going to have Aramark shirts. KPK storage. We don't have storage since we kind of left the lease space at LSAC and reduced what we had. We use the Newtown bus garage. It's very limited in terms of what we have as far as space. With KDK, they owed us 6,000 square feet for an agreement with them. They could not find that square footage in their facilities that they have. They're growing quickly. I toured the building with one of the folks from their company. We toured every area. I mean, spaces I don't even want to use. They're clean. They're manufacturing areas. Like, I would feel bad putting anything in there. He had no utilitarian kind of spaces. I told him that we were working with Access Security, who is a company that does most of our cameras, key fobs. He put a new office in an Ivy Land. He has part of that office, 10,000 square feet of space. He didn't renovate. That's open space. He put an overhead door in. He took out the ceilings. It's 10,000 square foot of conditioned space. I said, hey, if you guys want to talk to them, maybe you can get an agreement with them for the duration of what you owe us. And they did. So they executed an agreement with them. And they have a nice building with ample security because it is Access Security. They put an overhead door in for us so that we can get in and out. And it's very nice storage space. So now we can take those 3 trailer full, loads of stuff and get it over here. The only issue we're going to have, this is good until June of 2020. So I'm going to say in January of 2020.
My way to get rid of all this stuff.
We're going to have to talk about how we're going to go without storage, or we're going to,
On the bonfire.
we'll have to change our policy on disposal of equipment. But it's all good. School code provisions for lead testing in schools. Some of you may have heard that there's new provisions for lead testing. I know, Ed, you were very concerned about this well ahead of these
I was
provisions.
just interested.
You're ahead of time. So we have performed testing. We were ahead of this curve. We found minimal issues, and what we found, we either, if it was an old drinking fountain in an old building, it was removed. We had no elevated levels of lead from the testing we performed. There are new standards, and basically you're going to have to test to those standards. If you choose not to test, then you have to have a public hearing and let everybody know why you're not going to do it. I don't think that's the route I would like to go.
You want to continue to test?
We've been proactive, and I contacted our environmental consultant. As a matter of fact, today, Robert sent me information on lead testing. They provided more information. I sent that off to our consultant and said, tell me what this means and what we need to do. Once they've digested it and they know, then we will get a proposal and we'll talk about it more. So we will stay on this and do everything we need to do. This is the last item, appointed administrator, school safety and security coordinator. This will be not a consent agenda item, but a board action item. And I'll bring that to you. They'll oversee the police, SROs, security guards, review safety and security policies, procedures in compliance with the law, coordinates training for students and staff, coordinates school safety security assessment, serves as a liaison with safety committee, PDE, law enforcement, other organizations, and they report to school entity board via exec session by 30 June 19 each year thereafter, which is stuff we talked about earlier.
Basically what Mr. Rick does now.
Which is basically what
His
Phil
job.
does.
It is.
And
And he'll be there and then we'll recognize him.
if we think he should be there, absolutely.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
We-
We want to put this.
He still reports to you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that changes.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
And
it's a big deal, right?
It'd be nice. It'd be nice.
Upcoming agenda in September, more facility stuff, the Act 34 board resolution advertisement, and the capital improvement summary at that point.
And at that point, we will also start talking about when we can have a public open house, probably.
Yeah, we can.
Kick it in November, or not November, in October. Yeah.
Before it gets, too crazy.
Yeah, before it gets too crazy, but give them a chance on it. That's about right to kind of get it on the. If you've got days in mind, you can propose it.
We will.
If you.
I have to work with the principals and Robert and
Yeah,
and Susan O'Grady and the rest of the team.
Yep.
I'm happy to find a night to do it.
All right, there's no public comment. The board's been commenting as we go, but any more? Any more questions? Anything? All right, meeting adjourned.